Hi, my name is Steve Carlson. I'm a retired global director for GE Aviation and a longtime volunteer for Junior Achievement. So I'm excited to share today's lesson about interest and loans and how they can work for you or they can work against you. I've always been a big supporter of getting these personal finance lessons into the schools so that you know in advance what to look out for, what to be aware of, and hopefully, again, to use some of these tools for your benefit, because they can if you use them properly. So let's start with the first example. If you, and I apologize for the graphics, if we were in the classroom, we could put these up on the whiteboard. But let's just say for now that you see this deal for a brand new TV, and it's marked down to $1,000, and it's a fantastic deal. The problem is, if you buy this on your credit card and make the minimum payments each month, you'd end up paying almost $1,400 for that $1,000 TV. It's not such a bargain anymore. And even worse, if you used a cash advance on your credit card to pay for it, it would be $2,700. So it would be almost 3 times the retail price, because you were buying it with cash advance instead of paying actual cash for it. You'd be paying the credit card company almost $3,000 for a $1,000 TV, and that's where it doesn't make much sense for your budget. Let's talk about one other example, and might affect some students in the classroom, and that is student loan debt. So recently, it's been announced that the second highest level of debt next to home ownership in this country is student loan debt. There's $1.6 trillion of debt for student loans. And so I'm not going to talk about whether they're good or bad. Certainly you need to make that a personal choice, especially does the cost of the tuition and the loan, is it going to be able to be repaid with the earnings from whatever career or major that you end up choosing. But let's talk about the average student loan debt. The average that I found on the internet is without any other scholarships or subsidies, $17,500 per year. And if you don't get any other assistance or make any other payments, that amounts to $70,000 over the course of a 4-year degree. So then the payback numbers, you can say if you paid off this, you started paying off this $70,000 loan, it looked to be the easiest way is the column that says, I'm going to pay it off in 10 years, and that'll be the lowest amount of interest. The interest you would pay on that $70,000 loan is $23,400, so almost 30% on top of the loan. And if you do it that quickly, you're going to be paying $780 a month, which is pretty tough to do in your first job out of college. So then you say, well, I'm going to take my time and I'll pay it off in 27 years. You could pay it off at $440 a month, much more reasonable, almost like a car payment. You're going to end up paying $71,800 in interest. You're paying more in interest than the whole loan is worth. So make that clear. You borrowed $70,000, you're going to pay back $142,000. Now that doesn't seem to make much sense. So those are the things that you'll want to consider when you're talking about student loan debt, is not only how much am I going to take out, but am I going to be in a career where I can pay this back with the earnings. Now I'd like to talk about the positive side of compound interest and time value of money. There's something called the Rule of 72. The Rule of 72 says that if you take the 72 and divide it by the interest rate you received, or the increase in your stock value or your IRA or your savings account, your bank account, whatever it is, that'll tell you how many years it takes for your money to double. So I have a checking account at LMCU that gets 3% earnings. If I leave it in there, take 72, divide it by 3, in 24 years, the money will double. Now, investing it in the stock market, which if the stock market, which some people say averages 10% a year, that means that money could double in as much as soon as 7 years. So the time value of money is a very strong principle. Matter of fact, Albert Einstein once called it the most amazing discovery in the world was that of the compound interest and the time value of money. So I'm going to show you an example here about the time value of money. We have two students graduated from college. One graduated at 22 and started investing or started saving $2,000 a year until they were 60. So that is 38 years, $2,000 a year. They have saved $76,000. Now the other person said, well, when I graduate, I'm going to buy a car, I'm going to take some trips, I'm going to start saving when I'm 28. So that person saved for 32 years. They saved the same $2,000 a year, 32 years, so they saved $64,000 over those 3 decades. And so the difference between them really is only $12,000, right? 38 years, $2,000 equals 76. 32 years, $2,000, $64,000. So that's the difference in how much they actually put in and how much they actually saved. Now, through the miracles, the wonders, as Albert Einstein said, of compound interest, the time value of money starting earlier, the rule of 72, which we just talked about a minute ago, I can show you that the difference when they both reached age 60, based on the time value of money, one of them ended up with $360,000 and the other $800,000. So there's a difference of $440,000 just because you started earlier. And that's the time value of money. That's that compound interest that I was talking about, the rule of 72, which says the more years you have, then the last time that money doubles, it's going to be significant because it's money that you started 6 years earlier. So I hope this helps. It's really a fascinating subject when you talk about loans and interest rates because it can overwhelm you at some times, or if you start early enough and you understand the system, it can be your best friend. Thank you very much. Have a great day.